The unthinkable just became reality. At this very moment, planes are approaching major American airports with no one in the control towers to guide them safely to the ground. Federal workers are showing up to empty offices. Critical services are grinding to a halt, and the Democrats who caused this disaster are doubling down, voting again and again to keep the government shuttered. What started as political theater has morphed into a national security nightmare that is putting American lives at risk. The scenes unfolding across our nation right now will shock you, and the numbers will stun you. The betrayal by those sworn to protect us will infuriate you. You need to see what's happening, so keep on watching. But did you know that gold has gone mainstream? You're seeing it everywhere, and prices keep on climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's safe, simple, and built for the long run? That's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Their specialists are trained to help investors like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. You'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and a U.S.-based service from a team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metals transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it's their commitment. Visit nextnewsgold.com today to claim your free wealth protection kit and see if you qualify for that silver bonus. That's nextnewsgold.com. Noble Gold, helping you build a stronger future. The number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Give him a call. Tell him Gary Franchi said hello. Now let's check in. We got some breaking news on the Schumer shutdown. Even CNN reporting the horror.
Breaking news to CNN on a story we've been tracking all afternoon. The air traffic control facility responsible for flights approaching and departing Nashville International Airport are set to close for 5 hours tonight because of short staffing. The Federal Aviation Administration says that flights will still be allowed to continue flying during the closure, but pilots are going to have to contact the Regional Air Traffic Control Center for permission to enter the airspace.
So the reason being given for the staff shortage, that's not immediately clear. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, though, did say on Monday an increased number of controllers have been calling out sick since the start of the shutdown. So we'll continue to follow all of those developments for you.
Would you get in a plane right now? Would you get into a plane knowing the Schumer shutdown has put air traffic controllers out of their offices? Air traffic controllers walking out at Burbank. Tower deserted, 4:15. Every controller left the building. The FAA says flights are now handled from San Diego, over 120 miles away. How does a major U.S. airport run with no one in the tower?
Oh, air traffic. That's right, Colleen. In fact, we just spoke to air traffic controllers here at Burbank Airport in the last few minutes, and they can now confirm that they will be heading home at 4:15 this afternoon. As of 4:15 this afternoon, there will be no air traffic controllers inside of that tower right there.
You see what it says there on the screen? Normal flight operations will be suspended at some point. Burbank Airport.
Instead, they will be handing off their duties to SoCal TRACON. It's their approach and departure team out of San Diego, who will be talking to the pilots who are landing and taking off here at Burbank. They are hoping for minimal impacts on travelers, but it is still yet to be determined how severe those impacts will be. As of right now, the FAA is trying to call in additional controllers to come in early before those overnight hours. A fluid situation we're going to continue to stay on top of. Reporting live from Air 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. That's right, Colleen.
I think everyone should avoid flying right now. We have this Sean Duffy on Fox Morning, Fox and Friends, weighing in. Air traffic controllers in Burbank are not showing up for work now due to the shutdown. ATCs are essential employees and required to show up for work. Fire anyone who doesn't. Let's see what Sean Duffy has to say.
And try to make, they work 6 days a week, right? So we don't have enough controllers, so they have to work overtime. And they're family people, right? This is their living. They're concerned now if they don't get their paychecks. How do I pay my mortgage? How do I pay my car payment? What do I do to put food on the kids' table? So the controllers yesterday were saying, we actually have to think about working 6 days a week. And then do I go out and take an Uber job? and try to make extra money to put the food on the table, all because Chuck Schumer is trying to have this political fight instead of saying, let's do a clean CR, let's open the government up, let's have a conversation about what Democrats want to talk about, but do that over the course of the next several months. Don't shut it down and affect our airspace, our controllers. Again, it's a huge problem. And again, Burbank, 0 controllers came to work. I don't support that. They should come to work. They're supposed to come to work. But they didn't miss a paycheck yet. So why aren't they coming to work? I mean, it's only been 6 days. So, the paycheck, the pay cycle ended yesterday, right? Their paychecks come next week, and they see what's on the horizon, Brian. They're like, listen, do I see a resolution to the shutdown? I don't see it. So guess what? I'm concerned about my own life, my own family. And what we do is say, again, I want people when they travel to get to where they're going. So if we don't have controllers, we're going to make sure the airspace is safe. So what we do is we'll slow traffic. We'll shut down traffic. And that's what you saw in Burbank. We saw, significant delays because controllers weren't there. They work 6 days.
Where is Pete Buttigieg when you need him? Yeah, he wouldn't even know what to do. Okay, so these air traffic controllers basically, they left the job Monday because that was the end of the pay cycle. So they're not going to start the next pay cycle because there's no paycheck going to be showing up because of the Schumer shutdown. 3 hours ago, the air traffic control tower at Nashville International Airport in Tennessee going dark because of no available controllers for roughly 5 hours due to ongoing staff shortages exacerbated by the government shutdown, resulting in temporary ground stops. And speaking of the shutdown, this is the ongoing narrative that the Democrats want to give Medicare, health care to illegal aliens. It sounds like really super repetitive. We keep saying it. We keep hearing it. It's the talking point of the hour. But here's a question. James Blair, 47. You wonder why healthcare is so expensive.
Their benefits, which the Democrats do want illegals to have free health care in this country. They have set up programs that allow free health care for illegals in this country. They want us to repeal. One of their demands to reopen the government is to repeal our common sense health care reforms that we did over the summer. You know what one of those is? We, for the first time, said we're going to make sure that dead people, deceased people, are removed from the Medicaid rolls so that criminals can stop stealing their Social Security numbers and illegally getting their benefits, which was happening. It costs the federal government billions of dollars a year. The Democrats don't want us to do that. They don't think that's common sense. I mean, you wonder why health care is so expensive? It's because the Democrats want waste, fraud, and abuse. They want illegal immigrants to have free health care. They want criminals to be able to steal. They want insurance companies to get extra subsidies and be able to inflate their profits. That's what we're fighting against. The Democrats do want...
This is a freaking nightmare. Now, I want you to see something before we go to the Oval Office. Check this out. This is a 2023 NBC clip reporting that 25% of all patients in New York City public hospitals were illegals. The clip's going viral as NBC now reports in 2025 that illegals are not receiving health care. Okay, this is NBC versus NBC. Watch this.
30,000 across public hospitals in New York City. A quarter of the patients are now migrants. Over the last year, nearly 30,000 visits by migrants and 300 new babies born to migrant moms. Staff here at Bellevue Hospital tell us they're eager to help, but the numbers are tough. Across public hospitals in New York City, a quarter of the patients...
The headline? The video clip at the top there, that's NBC reporting 25% of illegals receiving 25% of hospital visits are illegals. But then they have a headline: GOP misleads with claim that Democrats shut down to give health care to illegal immigrants. Wow. Listen to how NBC is just carrying water. It's ridiculous. The White House has just announced that the Women and Children's Food Program will not be cut off while the government is shut down.
Program. Thomas, breaking moments ago, more than $200 billion coming into the coffers in tariffs, and now we're learning where some of that money will go. The White House has just announced that the Women and Children Food Program will not be cut off while the government is shut down. Some of the money will go to make sure that that program is kept up and running, according to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. We will see you back here tomorrow with more.
So the WIC program is still okay. President Trump in the Oval Office today receiving the Canadian Prime Minister, and this is what he had to say about the shutdown.
Look, Schumer, they're all Democrat delays. There are delays at the airport. That's standard. And again, this is something that every day we put forth a bill. It's just a continuation. It's a very simple thing to sign and very simple to do. And I really think that these are people that I think they have nothing to lose. They have a party that's out of control. They have no leader. Nobody knows who the leader is. I look at people with very low IQs like Crockett, this woman Crockett. I never met her, but she's a low IQ individual. I look at AOC talking about how if they want to negotiate, they can come to my office. She's not in that position to do that. And who the hell is she to say that? And then I watch Nancy Pelosi not knowing what to do. I watch their leadership. Look, Schumer is petrified of primary because he's not going to win probably against anybody in a primary. You know, Schumer did the right thing, but he handled it badly. Originally, a year ago, he did probably the right thing, but he handled it badly. I think Schumer is incapable of making a deal. They are a mess. They're a party that has no leadership. They have, and they have no policy. You know, I think we have great leadership, but we also have great policy. We have strong borders. We have no men and women's sports. Basic things. We're not going to take your child away and change the sex of your child. We're not going to do things like that. What they're doing to the country is so incredible. And they got away with it with all their woke crap, and now it's stopped. And we have a country that's based on common sense and strength and intelligence. I mean, they're all
common sense and strength and intelligence returning to the White House, but not so much the rest of the government who are orchestrating the shutdown. Here's more. Speaker Johnson says each week the Democrat government shutdown continues, our economy loses $15 billion in GDP. $15 billion. So they're tanking the economy at the very same time. You see, Donald Trump, all of his policies, the tariffs, everything he's doing, bringing in trillions of dollars, is revitalizing the economy. The economy is roaring back. So this is going to stifle that growth. Perhaps this is all by design.
Now, in fact, let me talk about the shutdown here real quick. And I promised you just 5 fast facts, 5 key facts, okay? I'm going to start with Leader Schumer's record because he is leading the opposition and he is the one telling the Democrats to keep the government shut down. Chuck Schumer has been in Congress for 44 years. He was first elected to the House in 1981. Just for reference, I was 9 years old. I was in the 3rd grade when Chuck Schumer came here to Congress. Throughout his entire career, he has been very, very consistent about the necessity of keeping the government open until just now. In fact, I want to read to you an excerpt from 7 months ago, his floor speech on March 13th, 2025. This is Senator Chuck Schumer in March of this year. Quote, on the Senate floor, while the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. I believe it is my job to make the best choice for the country to minimize the harms of the American people. Therefore, I will vote to keep the government open and not shut it down, unquote. Let me talk about the shutdown here real quick.
Chuck
and I promise.
Just a few months ago, acknowledging the damage that a shutdown can do to the country, yet continuing to vote against opening it up. Tom Emmer writes, Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith have voted against reopening the government 5 times now. They're literally holding the government hostage for partisan programs that are unrelated to government funding. Our message is clear. Stop the politics and pass the clean CR. And looks like he has written a letter to them, to Senator Klobuchar and Senator Smith, demanding they vote. Channel 12 News. CEO Danny Sidon is calling on Arizona Senator Mark Kelly and Senator Ruben Gallego to end the government shutdown.
Government shutdowns. Chamber CEO Danny Citing, who you just heard from there, is calling on Arizona Senators Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego to end the government shutdown. He wrote them a letter Friday saying his team is against federal government shutdowns, regardless of which party started them. Citing says Senators Kelly and Gallego have supported keeping the government open before, and now he urges them to take that position again. Chamber CEO Dan.
So we have Chambers of Commerce now weighing in on the damage that's being done. And here's more from President Trump in the Oval Office with the Canadian Prime Minister today.
Sure.
President, have you identified programs to eliminate under this shutdown?
Oh, sure. Sure.
Which ones?
We have a lot. I'm not going to tell you, but we'll be announcing it pretty soon. But we have a lot of things that we're going to eliminate and permanently eliminate. You know, one of the things that we have is some advantage, you could say. But because of the shutdown, which I think they made a big mistake, we're able to take out billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. And they've handed it, on a silver platter. And, Russell Vogt, he's a serious person, very serious person. And he's sitting there and he's getting ready to cut things. And this is something that was handed to us by, I assume, Schumer. I just don't know if Schumer has any power anymore. I look at your leadership. I don't know who to speak to. I'll tell you what, I'm getting calls from Democrats wanting to meet. I never even heard their names before.
President, have you identified programs to eliminate?
The Democrat Party in chaos without any leadership except for the backroom deals and discussions that AOC is holding. Here's more. Wow. Potential federal layoffs due to the Democrat shutdown.
Jobs will never.
How many permanent jobs are you talking about to be eliminated?
Well, I can tell you. I'll be able to tell you that in 4 or 5 days if this keeps going on. If this keeps going on, it'll be substantial, and a lot of those jobs will never come back.
Wow.
But you're going to have a lot closer to a balanced budget, actually.
How many permanent?
It's just like how Trump is getting the illegals to self-deport. He's getting the federal government bureaucrats to self-fire. Let's see. Here is Peter Doocy talking about undocumented people getting free health care.
To taxpayer. The heart of the disagreement seems to be that Republicans do not think that illegal immigrants should have access to taxpayer-funded health insurance.
And they don't.
So the Democratic position, your official position here, is that illegal immigrants should not have any access to taxpayer-funded health insurance. Does that include federal and state?
Well, the federal law is that undocumented individuals do not have access to Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, even the Affordable Care Act. That's the law. So this is a red herring from my Republican colleagues. They don't want to, help folks out because they needed that money. And this should be pretty simple for people to understand. When they gave that extension of the 2017 tax cuts, which helped out the richest Americans, it was partially paid for by taking away Medicaid and taking away these ACA tax credits for people who just can't afford health care.
What cards do the Democrats have right now?
Well, I don't want to, equate this to like a game. This is not a game. This is very serious. We've got folks that aren't able to go to work right now, but on November 1st, individuals are going to get these letters if they haven't received them already. Some have. There are folks in Alaska who have received letters that their premiums are going to go up from $600 a month to $4,000 a month. That's unaffordable. And in my state, in Arizona, 109,000 people are likely to lose their health care, meaning that they are one accident or one illness.
Okay, but that's see what he's trying to do? He's trying to redirect by saying, November 1st. Well, that's the whole point of the continuing resolution. The continuing resolution is to keep the government open, to keep government working so they can negotiate these other bills that they are freaking out about. Okay? I think what's most scary here is the fact that we have these air traffic controllers.
4:50. That's right, Colleen. In fact, we just spoke to air traffic controllers here at Burbank Airport in the last few minutes, and they can now confirm that they will be heading home at 4:15 this afternoon. As of 4.
If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this isn't just about delayed paychecks or flights. This is about whether America remains a functioning nation or descends into third world chaos. When air traffic controllers abandon their posts, when violent mobs attack federal facilities without consequence, when elected officials vote repeatedly to keep the government closed while people suffer, we're watching the intentional sabotage of our republic. The Democrats have made their choice. They'd rather see planes flying blind than pass a clean funding bill. They'd rather watch federal workers go without pay than give up their radical wish list. So here's my question. Should air traffic controllers who walk off the job during a national crisis be permanently banned from federal employment? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments because this is bigger than politics. It's about survival. And while the elites play their games, make sure you are wearing our gear. Check out our next news merch shop. It's linked below. We've got gear that shows where you stand when America needs patriots most.